All right, welcome. This is a zodiac reading for the sign of Sagittarius. And I don't know about the rest of y'all, but I love me some Sagittarians. Fine people, salt of the earth. Special shout outs to Amanda Lynn and Sarah, and of course myself. Have some Sajjy in my chart as well. In my Neptune, and I think one or two other places. But I like to squeeze myself in there whenever I can. If you're a returning subscriber, you know this already. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Please like, share, and subscribe if you find me entertaining. And let's be honest, who wouldn't find this guy entertaining? Hope you all are having a good weekend. Hope you had a good Thanksgiving. Hope you're going to have an even better Christmas. It's been a bittersweet symphony of a year this year. There's been some real struggles going on with me and most everyone I know, but it's also made us come out stronger. Some of us have learned a little more about who we are. Hey, Hermione, it's a good girl. Okay, get down, baby. Get down. And knowing yourself is one of the most important things you can do in this incarnation. So if nothing else, if that's all you really got out of it, was learning more about you, that's still a job well done, and you can't put a price tag on that anyway. So we're going to build your pyramid here, Sagittarians. Pretty sure I'm saying that right. Man, they are not kidding when they call fire signs either. Very outwardly passionate people, fiery individuals. In my experience, the ones that I've met have been really, really fine people. Helpful, always willing to share what they have, what they know. Willing to teach, help other people along their path. And we all need each other. I mean, even teachers had teachers. If you are new to the channel, I've been into this for about 7 weeks or so. I absolutely love it. While I do get some accurate messages channeled through me, my number one goal is entertainment because I love making people happy. I love making people smile. I love making people laugh, and it's a form of healing. If you're having a crappy day and somebody can put a smile on your face, that heals you some, and that's medicinal. And that's not something you have to go to school for, and an exorbitant amount of years to get a degree for. You can heal people just by being there for them, just by listening to them. Sometimes what you have to give is knowledge, and that is priceless. Man, these shuffle is just not feeling right. If you're new to tarot, and you're thinking about getting into it yourself, what I do when I'm selecting the cards, if the shuffle doesn't feel quite right, if a card catches, if the cut brings up extra cards, I know that I need to keep going. I'm pretty much the best poker player of all time that no one's heard of yet. And so I've been shuffling cards my whole life. I don't have a problem shuffling cards, except sometimes when I'm doing this, if I do have some difficulty, I know I need to keep on going until I get a good shuffle and a clean cut. And I'm feeling like this is going to be the one. We'll see how the cut goes. Good. All right, Sajjy, see what you got for us. At some point, I designed my own tarot layout. I don't like copying other people. I like everything I do to be original. But at some point, I think I might start doing some pick a card readings. A lot of tarot readers out there do them. Some of them, that's the only tarot reading that they do. But it's a lot of fun. And so I think I might start branching out into that area. Eventually, I'll get into love readings and, you know, just different categories. If you are new or if you're returning and you don't know this, I do free personal readings. So if you'd like one, leave a comment in the comment section below, or you can email me at wildcat444444@gmail.com. That is 8 number 4s. Or enlightenedlambs22@gmail.com. Find a way through comments or email to get in touch with me, and I will get you a free personal reading. I do have a list, a rolling list, and generally I like to do first come, first serve, but being an empath, sometimes I get the inspiration that somebody needs to hear something that, you know, might come through me, and so they get moved up to the top. If you get skipped, don't take it personally. It just means, you know, somebody was in more need than you were at that time. And ultimately, besides entertainment, this is a way to help people. Some people need guidance sometimes. I mean, who hasn't been in that situation before? Some people, even though it might not be an accurate message, it might still be something that you need to hear. If you've ever seen The Matrix, when Neo went to see the Oracle, she told him that he wasn't the one, but that was what he needed to hear at that time. And so, you know, obviously he ended up being the one. Am I showing my age? Is The Matrix pretty old by now? I think so. I thought I even heard either rumors or might have saw a YouTube video saying that they were going to make a 4th Matrix movie, which that'd be exciting. Those are pretty good movies. And shockingly accurate. Once you gain a higher level of knowledge about what's really going on in this world, and you go back and watch the first Matrix movie, it's a little bit eerie. As always, I encourage everyone to do their own research and not listen to anything that I have to say and accept it as fact simply because I said it. You should never believe something because somebody else told you to believe it. You should only believe something because you investigated for yourself and your heart tells you what to believe in. So your pyramid is almost built. I promised myself when I got into this that, and this is for the new people out there, that I would not sugarcoat anything. If I got a message that was, I want to say bad, but maybe negative or maybe sad or depressing, that I was going to give the messages that I was getting. But the brilliance of my layout that I designed, your capstone is what I call it, will always end your reading with a Archangel Raphael Healing Oracle card. So no matter what the rest of your messages are, we always end on a positive note here at Fresh Lava Productions. Now, some of these cards, I don't know exactly what I'm going to call them yet. These are your foundation stones. This is your heartstone, and that's your capstone. These 4, I'm not quite sure what I want to call them just yet. So if anybody's got any suggestions, I am certainly open to them. Also, I'll never do a reading where you can't see me shuffling the cards. There are some tarot readers out there that for different reasons, when the video starts, they're all laid out, and I get that. And there are some really good readers that do it that way. But there are also some frauds, and just to avoid the appearance of impropriety, you'll always see my hand shuffling the cards, and you'll always see me cutting them and placing them down so you know that I'm not up to anything. But if you're empathic like I am, you know that already. I am genuinely doing this because I believe that I have the ability to help people, some people, whether that's a message that they need to hear, but some people just like the soothing tones of my voice. And some people, you know, I reference movies and TV shows a lot, just are entertained, and that's my #1 goal is entertainment, like I said earlier. So I think that's a pretty good cut. All right, we always save your capstone for the end, but we'll go ahead and turn over the rest of your cards. Sagittarius, Sagittariuses, Sagittarians. All right. Now, I don't much do things by the book. I'm an intuitive tarot reader. I have a general understanding of what the textbook definitions are, and I've got the book with me in case I get confused by anything. I'll reference it to clear things up. But usually this is just what I do. I turn over the cards, I look at the story that's being laid out, I send the messages, and then we kind of go from there. So your Heartstone is the Eight of Wands. Okay, your foundation stones, you have the Eight of Swords in reverse, you have the Queen of Swords in reverse, you have the Eight of Rods in reverse, and the Nine of Swords in reverse. That's a lot of reversals for your foundation, Sagittarius, and a lot of these are kind of, I don't want to say negative and positive, good and bad. Those are overused terms, and they really don't mean so much of anything anyway. Hey, it's just people walking down the street. Would you go lay down, please? Go lay down. What I'm getting here, the Nine of Swords and the Eight of Swords upright are both kind of, approaching the Ten of Swords energy. They're, feeling beaten down by the world. In a lot of cases, when I feel energy from them, you've got a lot of air energy, Sajjy. What you got going on? And it's interesting that your Heartstone is the Eight of Rods upright, and your foundation stone is the Eight of Rods in reverse, just underneath that, one of them. Some of you guys, and I'm actually feeling multiple energies on this one. Some of you guys and gals, everybody's got masculine and feminine energies, but some of y'all are coming out of a pretty difficult situation. And the last couple of times I've done a Sagittarius reading, I felt like I've had the overwhelming sensation that somebody's experienced personal loss. The last one I did, I'm pretty sure I felt that someone had been in a car accident and had actually lost loved ones. And that's really sad. But if that's you, try not to be so down about it, because they don't actually go anywhere but right to the people that they love. You just can't see them unless your third eye is open all the way, but that's a conversation for a different time. So you've got the Queen of Swords in reverse in your foundation. You've got the Queen of Swords upright next to your Heartstone. Your Heartstone is actually surrounded by the Sun card and the Queen of Swords. Yeah, I'm feeling like a lot of y'all are really coming. Basically, 2019 has been a tough year for a lot of us. You're putting behind you situations that made you feel like there was no hope. One of you in particular are moving away from somebody that this Queen of Swords in reverse is giving me different energy than this one that's upright. For one of you at least, the Queen of Swords in reverse is signifying somebody that was in your life that basically you may have had an emotional attachment to this person through family, or could have been friends with them for a long time and didn't find out who they were until later on in the relationship. Could be somebody that you work with, but I feel like you're definitely moving away from somebody that basically, and pardon my language, but they're a shit talker. They don't have your best interest at heart. They have nasty things to say about you. Behind your back specifically is what I'm hearing, but some of y'all, if it's more than one of you, could be to your face as well. Just a negative person. Highly intelligent person. And intelligent people, words have power. So intelligent people tend to inflict more pain than those on a lower intellectual plane. Hey, I rhymed just then. So the Eight of Rods generally makes me feel like there is an attack. There's an assault going on. It's like somebody's throwing everything they have at you. With the Nine of Swords down here and the Eight of Swords also, you felt stuck in the past. I don't think it's right now, though. I really think your foundation stone, Sagittarius, is talking about things that you're coming away from, things that you've experienced, some of you fairly recently, some of you just over the course of your life. But I'm loving that all these are reversed, all four of them. And I don't believe I've ever done a pyramid layout where all four foundation stones were reversals. But you're putting behind you people, situations, and maybe even places for some of you that, and it's such an overused phrase, that no longer serve you. But what I'm really feeling like is just in general, things that haven't been serving your highest good. People and situations that have not had you in a position where the best thing for you was happening. Okay, and it's interesting because the Eight of Rods in reverse, your heartstone being the Eight of Rods upright, makes me feel like some of you have even had to go on the offensive to get away from these situations. And definitely, now that I'm looking at this, the Queen of Swords in reverse and the Eight of Rods in reverse and your foundation make me feel like this person was constantly attacking you, whether you even know it or not. But this makes me think that a lot of y'all were aware of it. Okay, and you've had to use your own offensive weapons to detach and get away from them. Some of you guys, I'm hoping that this doesn't mean, this is really interesting. You've got Queen of Swords and Eight of Rods in reverse in your foundation, and just above that you have Queen of Swords and Eight of Rods upright. Some of you guys that have been being mistreated, Sagittarius, you are also just as intelligent as this person that was saying nasty things about you. And this makes me feel like either in your heart, you know the right thing to do is to stand up to them, but the combination of all these reversals makes me feel like some of you have definitely stood up for yourselves at long last. What I know of Sagittarians is that they are gracious and they're fiery because they're a fire sign naturally, yeah, but they tend to be kind-hearted individuals. They put up with a lot, but man, fire signs in general, but Sagittarius most definitely. When you've had enough, enough is enough. And a few of y'all out there, yeah, I'm feeling like more than one of you, a few of you have stood up for yourself because your heart told you it was the right thing to do. You'd had enough of it, and you brought out your own Queen of Swords in the upright position and told this person, you know, you've had enough of this. But yeah, I'm not feeling like, even though wands or rods is fire energy, I don't feel like you got on their level. I feel like you used your intellect and listened to what your heart was saying to be firm. But it actually reminds me of my father. My father was one of the most intelligent people I ever knew. And he could chew you up and spit you out. And you would have no idea that that had happened until later on that night, sometimes maybe the next day or the next week. So I feel like you used your intellect, and you're smarter than this person, actually. You used your intellect to fire back, but in such a way that they understood what was happening, but you weren't ugly to them the way that they've been to you. So God bless you. That's the right thing to do. Standing up for yourself is not a bad thing. You know, being ugly and being malicious, of course, is, and I'm really feeling like you went the right way about this. Now, on the other side of your heartstone, you have the Sun card. Leo energy, baby. Represent. But yeah, it's making me feel like you took as much as you could. You maybe even went out and did some grounding and some sun gazing and some meditation to come to the conclusion that you needed to do what you needed to do to free yourself from that toxic situation. Excuse me. I thought Mercury retrograde was over. Master of the English language here. I'm not used to bumbling over my words, and I haven't been drinking today, so. Now, above your heartstones, you have the Queen of Pentacles, and that's directly above your Queen of Swords and Eight of Rods, and on the other side you have the Six of Pentacles in reverse. What I'm getting from this is that somehow, some way, if this was a job situation, what you did standing up for yourself, maybe somebody was jocking your style, to go back to the 90s for a minute. Maybe this person was lying about you and saying nasty things about you to try to keep you from getting credit for your hard work, is what I'm really feeling like here. And because you stood up for yourself, you've more or less turned into the Queen of Pentacles. And this lady is no nonsense. She's a queen, but she's not like Cersei Lannister from Game of Thrones, and she's not like the Dragonborn, the Dragon Mother either. She's more like, and I can't remember her name if you've seen Game of Thrones, but she was you got a good feeling about this lady being the queen. I think she was supposed to be Joffrey's wife, and then was engaged to Tommen later on before he jumped out the window when she got killed. But you would see her in a royal position, had it all, but she spent her time in the homeless shelters, as it were, of King's Landing. She spent her time with the foster children, doing good things for people that weren't as fortunate as she is. I'm getting some great energy here, Sagittarius, whoever you are, whoever y'all are. And I'm going to stop right there. This person with the Six of Pentacles in reverse, I feel like is now at a loss, perhaps because they can't take credit for your hard work anymore. But that's the overall energy that I have from your pyramid, Sagittarians. You've done great. You should be proud of yourself. A lot of us have, fire signs especially, have a difficult time giving ourselves enough credit for what we do, and it's because we don't want to be perceived as arrogant. But there's no problem with knowing that you've done a good job and giving yourself enough credit. Just don't be a braggadocious child like a Leo would tend to be if he or she were unpolished. I can say that because I'm a Leo Virgo cusp, but I was born on the last day of the lion, and up until about 6 months ago, I was still pretty much of a child. I've come a long way in a short time, and though my confidence has not left me, it's much more. I think my brother Derek would call it a humble brag perspective. But it's okay to give yourself credit. Especially while you're alone. Don't be so hard on yourself if you're a perfectionist, which that wouldn't surprise me. Give yourself enough credit. Look back on a job well done, and God bless you. I love you. I love all you guys. We're gonna wrap up here with hey, sunlight. Dear Archangel Raphael, please help me enjoy the benefits of sunshine in safe and healthy ways. And that's funny that comes out because the sun card down here next to your heartstone made me feel like you really went and did, if you're somebody that's, I hate using the word woke, but if you're somebody that's on a higher level of knowledge intake, you understand that looking at the sun is something we were all told was bad, it'll damage your eyes. But if you do the research and look at the scientific evidence, sun gazing is beneficial. And when I said earlier, I think some of you guys did some grounding, putting your bare feet on the ground, putting your eyeballs in the sun. It's funny that the sunlight card would come out there. And I'm going to read from the book to further go into the sunlight card. If you haven't looked into the benefits of sun gazing, I would encourage you. There have been multiple studies done on that, and grounding. Grounding reduces inflammation. Sun gazing will send sunlight energy in through your regular eyes into your pineal gland, which is your third eye, and that will more or less charge up your psychic powers if you haven't discovered those just yet. Sunlight. Let's see what Raphael's got for you. Man, one of the best damn archangels there is out there. Not taking anything away from Michael. He's strong like bull. Sunlight, sunlight. Here we go. The sun's rays have natural curative power. Although balancing your exposure is essential to avoid sun damage, There are also numerous scientifically verified health benefits. This card may be guiding you to visit a sunny locale or even invest in a full spectrum lighting device. And those can be of benefit, but I would always recommend the real thing if you were asking my opinion. Archangel Raphael is prescribing vitamin D in its most natural form for your health. Possible specific meanings: developing a sunny disposition. That's another good way to look at it. Visualize light surrounding the issue at hand. Move to a warmer climate. Spend more time outdoors. A health condition is affected by the weather. And sunlight is the best disinfectant, is one of those sayings I like to hang on to. Sagittarians, that's what I got for you. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found me entertaining. If you haven't already, please give me a like, share, and subscribe and help me grow the channel. Please remember I do free personal readings, so get in contact with me if you like one, and we'll see you next time.